Nights. I'm your boy JiggaManPorto, and we got, of course, Jerry Ferrara, Drew Austin. What's up, fellas? How are you?
It's another day in paradise, slow news day, right? Slow news day.
Super slow, but tell me about your smile. Since you're smiling, I'm guessing. We got some news to bring, people. The Knicks pulled off a trade, and we got Cam Reddish coming over to hook up with RJ. How are we feeling about it, Jerry?
If you would have told me maybe like 2 years ago that the best run organization in New York City might be the New York Knicks, I would have gave you, I don't know what kind of Degen odds I would have threw at you. 500 to 1, maybe something like that. No disrespect to the Yankees or the Mets or even the Rangers. Giants, we could fully disrespect. What a trade. Look, we did not trade for like Damian Lillard. I get it. It's not like we acquired, young Tracy McGrady, who knows, but Cam Reddish for nothing. And when I say nothing, look, there's no disrespect to Kevin Knox. I root for Kevin Knox. I would love nothing more than to see Kevin Knox get a fresh start in Atlanta and contribute. But more importantly than the Knox part, that draft pick, which at first when I heard it, I thought maybe it was our pick, which that threw me a little. Then I thought maybe, it's the Mavericks pick. But then to hear, we still have this Hornets pick laying around that is heavily protected, that probably won't translate till 2025 because the Hornets are actually decent.
Right.
I don't like, it's just a great trade. Even if Cam Reddish averages 4 points a game, it's a great trade. There's no downside to the trade unless Kevin Knox turns into a superstar.
Well, Drew, you got your Madden-esque trade offer with Knox. You did it, Drew. Well, how was that phone call when you pulled it off?
So the first thing I heard was that it was just for a first-round pick. And I was like, all right, protected first-round. And then they threw in Knox. And that
Drew thinks we gave up too much.
No, listen, overall, I think that it was a great trade. I think that it's positioning us in an interesting way. I know how our management thinks. I mean, he's an agent at heart. So he's thinking about players and like what's going to keep them, what's going to build relationships. Like he's thinking about the personnel, not just at a basketball level, but at a human level, because of the fact that this is what he's had to do his whole life. So my thought process is this: he's going after the Duke connection with RJ and Cam.
That built-in chemistry.
I think they're preparing for Zion. That's the other big move. So I think this was a move this was a slight step towards bringing Zion to New York. I don't even know what that means anymore, because Zion could easily be either a superstar or he could be Greg Oden, and we don't know. But I do think that this was part of a much bigger play, and this was a step. I also like where he fits. I think he's a 6'8", prototypical small forward. RJ comes out, Cam comes in. He has a great spot off the bench. It's a very easy slot to fill. I don't really feel like we had this like prototypical 3. So I like it. Again, the only other thing we have to think about here is like Knox wasn't in the rotation. So does someone fall out of the rotation?
I spent a lot of time. Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead, Jerry.
No, I said I spent a lot of time. I was actually on the phone with coach and GM of Knicks Gaming, Kyle Rudy. We were talking all things Knicks Gaming when the trade broke, and we immediately segued into talking about this trade.
Yeah.
And a couple of things. Number one, for once the Knicks were the buyers, right? Usually when other team, like we're usually sellers, and usually we're one of the teams that GMs target of like, let's see if we could pull one over on the good old Knicks. And sometimes, most of the time they do. In this case with Atlanta, I don't think they like fell out of favor with Cam Reddish. I just think they have too many guys.
Right.
Like,
he's a depth piece.
If anything, they want to shorten that rotation, and start to dial in, because I think they have a lot of guys who think they should be playing and think they should be shooting, and that could be a problem. I know it sounds crazy. How could you have too much talent? It's more about the fit. So for once, we called a team that was ripe for the picking because they had to make a move, and maybe they're doing something else too. The Hawks might not be done for all we know, but what a great trade. But yes, we spent a lot of time talking where does Cam fit, and to be quite honest, not even that concerned about where it is this year yet. because we got to figure it out. And you know, with Tibbs, you got to earn your spot no matter what. But I think it's a great insurance chip for Burks and for Fournier. How many times has Fournier's been playing great, but how many times has Fournier missed the fourth quarter because he's not playing so great? And it does give us a little more depth at the wing. It just gives us a lot more depth than I don't quite know where the fit is and where the minutes come from.
Yeah.
But I'm not even that concerned about it yet.
Yeah. And what about the other part of this is, well, a couple questions. One, how has he been playing, Cam? Like, I don't know enough about his game yet and how he's been playing. It feels like if they were just willing to ship him off like that, that it felt like are they seeing something we're not seeing?
I mean, technically, he was like a real depth piece for them, right? I mean, he was averaging almost 12 points a game. He's 41% from the 3-point, right? And then
I think he was less than that. But it was he's about 38%.
38
from the 3-point line. Yeah, it just I wouldn't say he's having a great year.
Right.
He's not, but I mean, he's not having a terrible year. Again, there's just like a minutes thing going.
Yeah. So two other things. What does his contract look like? Do we know? Like, how many years is he tied up for right now?
Well, he's still on his rookie deal, I believe, which might be expiring. This might be it.
No, it would be this season and next season because RJ has one more year also, right? And they're the same class.
I believe so. Yes, but
yeah, and that was actually a question in the chat too.
Yeah. So my first thought was like, what does his contract look like? I think it's a 2 year. I think we got him for this year and next year, still on a rookie contract is what I believe, but I'm not 100%.
He's eligible for his rookie extension after this year.
Okay, so that's one more year. We'll
but I think he has this year and one more, and then it starts to become.
Yeah, so it's this season and next season. That's what I figured. Okay, so we got a good year and a half to evaluate him. Like, this is going to be like a quick, he's going to have to, get into the rotation quickly, contribute, hopefully give us a push to make the playoffs. It's funny. This time last year, we traded for D Rose, and that's what helped push us to the playoffs. I mean, once we added D Rose, it completely changed the perspective of the team. Now, I don't know if Cam Reddish is going to be a change the perspective of the team kind of guy, but it sounds like we're now starting to make some moves. So, okay, so Cam Reddish thing. I mean, we got the draft pick. I mean, the contract. The other question was about the draft pick that we gave up. Now, there were some details with that. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, what are we giving up here?
It's a pick we got from the Hornets for a draft trade, and it is heavily protected. I believe this year it's top 18 protected. I think next year it drops to top 16 protected, and eventually I think the restrictions just wear away till eventually it becomes usable. And the Hornets, I think, are interestingly enough, might be on that line of 18.
That's what I was about to say. So we need to then really think about here. We really need to root for the Hornets to lose games right now, because that is the difference of us holding our pick this year or not. Right?
No, that's not how it works, Drew. Okay. It's not how it works. That pick is gone. The Hawks now have that pick. Right. So the Hawks now deal with the Hornets, meaning if the Hornets say have the 19th pick in the draft, then that pick goes to the Hawks. If they have 18 or a better pick, then the pick does not activate. It pushes to next year.
Got it. So if it was our protected pick, then we'd be rooting for them to lose because we'd keep the pick this season if it was an under 18 pick.
Yeah, but that pick is gone. We traded that pick, and it is no longer in our asset. It's no longer in the King's wallet. It's gone.
Exactly.
It's gone.
Okay, got it. Now it's clear.
So since this trade happened, do you guys still think there's some more splashes like we might make? I mean, are we still hoping that we can pull off a Miles Turner? I mean, what are the thoughts there?
I mean, yeah, I would. So again, getting a nice piece like Reddish without giving up really any. Again, I'm not trying. This is not like a shit on Kevin Knox segment. Like, right. I'm still rooting for him, but we essentially gave up nothing. So it does not necessarily affect any other future plans we've had for trades. Now, I just don't quite know, because again, we're buyers for the first time in a long time. I don't quite know how aggressive the front office and Leon Rose and Scott, how aggressive they want to be. Do they still want to go make that play for Miles Turner now? Do they still want to go make a De'Aaron Fox play, which that seems like a much bigger deal? Again, we have 2 first-round picks this year. So like we're loaded with picks. I think we're done. If I just know the Knicks, which it seems like the new mantra is like nothing kind of crazy, like small incremental moves, build
Fair.
slowly. That seems to be how this organization is being run now. So I don't see anything. I don't really see them doing it. I think maybe there will be talks about Turner. Maybe there'll be talks about De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. Those all seem like bigger deals that I don't know if they want to make quite this year. But who knows? I didn't think they'd get Cam Reddish either.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a rumor I was hearing about, and I don't know if there's anything to it, but I'm curious what you guys thought about it, because I was like kind of on the fence about it a little bit. So it was, I can't remember the exact pieces. I know that it was Kemba and Fournier, and then another guy, like another throw-in piece. I can't remember which one. And the trade was for John Wall. And like, listen, Wall's contract is obviously horrendous for this year and next year, but somehow the way that they made the way this trade was proposed, it was the two veterans and maybe one or two other people, and the contract it was a feasible trade. It was a feasible trade to make. Like, do we take on that contract for 2 seasons and see what Wall's got left for a couple of veterans that are just not like part of our long-term future anyway? I don't see Fournier and Kemba part of our long-term future here, no matter how we slice it. So
well, we got some years with Fournier, but yeah, I get it. Like, it's not necessarily like the piece that's dependent on making it go.
No.
Look, that's definitely more risk heavy and also could get in the way of any signings next year. I mean, he's on the books this year and next, so that's just a lot of
45 million too.
It's a lot of cap. Like, again, if it was like Wall, even 80% of Wizards Wall, like, I'm very interested in that. But no one even knows what it is. There would have to be some really trustworthy, amazing intel as to what John Wall looks and feels like as a player right now.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, because that's a lot of money, right? I mean, we gave Fournier the bag, and it's like, he's still there. Like you said, going into the offseason, it's going to strap us with what we can do and what other pieces we want to sign. So I don't know. I'd say on my end, the jury's still out, but I'm not in favor of a John Wall.
Yeah, because like if Cam comes here, plays really well, we want a rookie extend him. RJ is going to be due for the same. It could just get. I don't know. I think it's too much of I think it's too risk heavy, and the Knicks don't. That might have been the move like 6 years ago. That feels like a very Knicksy move, but I think shit's different now. I think we're winning every trade. We're winning a lot of the signings. People still say Fournier didn't work out. Then he goes and has, God, we talk about my over points call, the greatest call. We should have pushed in everything we had
early. It
looks like we're heading to should we go into the last week? We go into the game?
Yeah, let's do a little weekly recap. Okay. First things first. Let's start with the Celtics game with the RJ, we love you buzzer beater. How you doing? Oh, it's so good. I just want to keep watching it over and over.
There was some really good views. I was watching a view from the crowd that was fucking incredible. There's just like, this was just such a fun game. What a great game, right?
Great game. I mean, the best part about watching this a million angles is like you really got to watch every player's individual reactions. Yeah. My award winner, because he's actually not the one, is Quickly, because Quickly was on the far side of the court away from everyone by himself, and he just ran off like he was running from Godzilla.
Tracy McGrady's reaction in the crowd as a celebrity fan was the best.
Yeah. No, I saw Jerry tweet that. I saw you tweet about that. I went back and like watched it over and over and watched each player's view. It was just unbelievable. It was amazing. What a game! And
what a game!
I mean, on top of that, I mean, that night, Fournier, what, 41?
It's just so stupid. It doesn't make any like. I called it on the show. I loved his over points. It's a great matchup for him with the Celtics. The Celtics were not shutting anyone down. They're actually, Celtics are very similar to the Knicks. I know they have two superstar type players, but defensively, scheme wise, it's pretty close to the same thing. But no, I did not think he'd hit the over in the first quarter, which he did. And he just got hot, which is what makes Fournier one of the most mystifying players in the NBA, because now he's kept up the shooting. He's been pretty consistent. Obviously, he didn't put up 41 in games after, but pretty consistently shooting now, but
Right.
in 2 weeks he'll go 0 for 8 and he'll be on the bench in the fourth quarter. It's so spellbinding.
That's
Dr.
rough.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde with that guy.
Yeah,
You know? I
but
mean, we spent that
yeah.
afternoon saying, yeah, we'll take the over. We didn't expect 41 points on the night, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
my issues with that game, well, and if it wasn't for Fournier and obviously RJ, but mainly Fournier, like the offense looked terrible. It was so stagnant. It was so like 4 guys standing around while one guy tries to drive and dish, and
right.
we were down 21 points. It just was like the offense was embarrassing. Fournier really bailed us out, and then RJ. But I will say, from that moment, the offense has looked significantly better. Guys are actually moving without the ball. So,
yeah.
Do we want to talk about we were still happy over the RJ hangover that we took that spanking a little bit, 99-75 the following game?
Before we go on really quickly, speaking of Quickly, I think Quickly played well. Dropped 16 points.
He's consistent.
He just played solid +9. Like again, like Burks had a terrible game that game. 1 for 10, 37 minutes, just did nothing. We just are. It's again like Julius Randle played a solid game, nothing special but solid.
Right.
Barrett was off that game, 4 for 15. So yeah, I mean, like the whole game, we got completely saved by Fournier. The offense wasn't great. Really quickly before we move on, Tatum is a beast. Tatum is like, again, we've talked about him. We've talked about him before, but he is he is a star. I don't think he's a superstar, but he's an absolute utter star. But he's got superstar potential. I don't know maybe it takes like a winning, just like a winning team to get him over the hump, because like he's got pieces around him with Horford and Brown and Smart. Like he's got some pieces. They're still just an okay team. I don't feel like they're that good.
They need a point guard. They need someone who could help, and like a pass first point guard, someone who could help set the offense up, because
facilitate things better.
Yeah, as good as and Brown too, like as good as playmakers as they are, they're not really set up the other guy kind of players. So I think they could benefit from, and Smart is capable, but if they had like a true point guard, they had like a Jalen Brunson, incredible.
Checking stats. So yeah, no, I totally hear you. Marcus Smart should be coming off the bench. He should be a guy who comes in, can play any position, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, lockdown defense, come in with energy, reset the tone. Whereas they needed what they thought they were getting with Kemba. Honestly, that's what they thought they got with Kemba, and they needed that, and they still are missing it. Similar to what the Knicks situation is, except for when Rose is playing.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
So up to you guys if we talk about the loss to the Celtics, or we move right along. I mean,
I think we could move along. I kind of saw it coming. Like it was a home and home. We also Fournier has 41 and then misses the game.
Yeah.
So we're a little light.
What was that about? I didn't know. It was just like he was like out. No one even said anything. There was no reason.
It was like a contusion. I guess he got like knee in the thigh. Yeah. So not saying like Fournier missed the game, so he lost. You kind of knew Celtics blowing a 21-point lead back at home. I didn't have great feelings about that game. But I think that we have like turned a little bit of a corner from that game. So
oh yeah, 100%. Next one after that, we then get the Spurs that we pulled it off 111-96. RJ that night, 31 points. Fournier, 18 and 5. Randall came through with 12 rebounds, only 2 points. Wasn't shooting great, but the rebound stats were there. And Mitch had 11 rebounds. Is it also time to mention the youngest player in franchise history with back-to-back 30-point games? Goodbye, Porzingis record. How do you do it?
Anytime a record that Porzingis had drops,
you get a big smile.
Yeah, I was actually really disappointed he didn't play last game, because I was coming out ready to like play defense with my cheering. Like I wanted to just like defend him with my rooting against him. But I don't even know if he's injured or is it COVID or what's his deal. Who knows? I feel like he never plays. I think
it was COVID protocol.
Yeah, I don't think he's played in the Garden in almost like in maybe 2-3 years now. It's been a while, I feel like, but which doesn't surprise me. But it was a complete game. It was a complete game. I think that we got to talk Mitch. I thought Mitch played phenomenal. 13, 11, and 4 blocks. That's just that's stud level. That's what we need from him every game. Right amount of minutes, the whole 9. I thought he played really well. RJ dropping 31. Of course, are we starting to see what RJ's potential is? Like that's, I think we got to talk about RJ for a bit, but like we'll get to the next game, I guess, first. But
yeah,
Quick, another solid game off the bench. He's just been playing his role. Grimes dropped some points off the bench, which was nice to see. Unfortunately, we have a forgotten guy who I hope doesn't lose his complete confidence again, which is Obi Toppin. I think that Obi, when he had his shot to step up and beat, Randall had 2 points in that game. Was that real?
Yeah, but you know what? I
didn't see
actually, in the weirdest way, it was a good thing because Randall still found a way to impact the game.
He always does.
And he wasn't like hanging his head.
Yep.
He was still playing hard. He was battling. Like, so in a weird way, like, yeah, 2 points, of course. Like you need more, you expect more, but like,
yeah,
to focus on that, I think you really would have missed other things that went on that game.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, Jerry, in that game, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, right? Where Randall's always driving and then he just tries to force it too much. And this is one game that I felt like he really was drawing that double team and actually moving the ball around. So I was happy with the 12 rebounds with just the 2 points because he like I said, head wasn't down. He was facilitating a bit, helping and making sure, RJ and those guys were able to do their thing. Burks, a couple points that night quickly. So I thought I'd rather see a Randall like that, not all the time, but showing that, hey, I don't need to put it all on myself and I can draw that attention elsewhere. I thought it was great.
What do we think's going on with Obi though? Because like my theory is that when Obi had that shot while Randall was out for 2 games and the Knicks were just absolutely atrocious, and the coach even said like, hey guys, listen, this is like when you have a back, everyone's rooting for the backup quarterback, and then the backup quarterback finally gets to play, and everyone realizes there's a reason they're the backup. That was a slight dig to Obi. Like no one really called it out, but that was a dig to Obi. And I don't know if it's the exact result of that, but Obi's looking a little bit like last season now, where he lost his confidence a little bit, and that's worrisome to me.
I don't think that it was a full dig on Obi because he's in his second year playing behind a guy who just went all NBA second team and signed a massive contract. So like him becoming a starter, I mean, I don't even think that's in his mind. It's weird. I don't think that we've necessarily needed Obi in the last 2-3 games. Like what he's bringing to the table is energy and amazing transition offense. Like he's like a deer in transition, right? So yeah, that's all great. It just hasn't been needed, and the starters are playing better. Noel came back last game, so that takes away any center minutes he might get. Like I don't know if his confidence is shaken. I just think that there's certain kind of games that Obi will thrive in, and then there's certain kind of games where it's not necessarily his matchup and his fit. But we need him. We'll always need him. We need that energy off the bench until Rose gets back.
But I guess what is the strategy to develop a player like that? Because again, he's not going to get the 30 minutes a game. And he's still his game is super raw. Like he doesn't have a very complete, he doesn't have a complete offensive game yet. He really doesn't. His game right now is very much jump over the player. If you've seen his back to the basket game, it's a little bit out of control. He moves a little bit too fast. His footwork is it's really not it's not like an elegant footwork. He's the kind of guy who would benefit from working with Hakeem Olajuwon in the offseason. I just think that I think Amari did that one year. I don't remember for sure, but I think Amari did. Olajuwon was all about footwork and back to the basket etiquette and being able to have an elegant post game. You know what I mean? It was just it was beautiful to watch when Olajuwon.
But haven't we always lacked at developing guys?
But he's a top 10 pick, and RJ, we've invested in, and we're all in on RJ. You could tell it doesn't matter if he plays well or not. The Knicks have decided that they're going to make RJ the guy, and they're going to ride or die with RJ. And I think they're feeling the same way about Randall. And I just think that they haven't made the commitment to Obi. And when they decide not to make that commitment, these players, this is where you get the Franks, you get the Knox.
I don't know, Drew. I don't know. Again, first off, it really would depend on what's going on in practice and off season for that kind of development. I actually think Obi has developed. If you look at where he was last year, defensively this year, I'm not saying he's an amazing all NBA defender, but significantly better laterally and north-south from where he was last year. You could tell he's put work in with coaching to work on his defense. Rebounding, better. I don't know if Obi's a back to the basket guy. And honestly, I don't know if that's even what you want in the NBA. I actually think he needs to work on his face up game when he actually gets the ball, like sizing his guy up. Because yes, he's big, but I don't know. Is he really going to be backing players down with like up and unders? I want to see him continue to develop the jumper, the corner three, and obviously transition. He's amazing. Passing's been a little bit better. I want to see him make quicker, better decisions when he gets the ball and faces up and can drive. And he has shown flashes of drives. He's good around the basket. I mean, how committed can you be? You're committed to Randall. They play the same position. That's why when they made the pick, this was before Randall was all NBA. Yeah, it did seem like, oh, okay, he'll back up Randall and they'll implement him slowly. And then eventually he'll take Randall's spot. And then Randall had one of the best years a forward could really have. So I don't think they're like non-committal to him. I just think it's going to be a slow process. It sucks that he's one of the older young players, but he's still only, 24, 25? I just think it's going to be slow. And I still don't even think I don't think he's ready for 30 minutes a game anyway. So I think he's right where he needs to be. And I think he really does help the team. And he showed us a lot in that Atlanta series when we had no fight really at the end of the day. He was the one who actually showed balls and was fighting and scrapping in that series. I think he's right where he needs to be. He may lose some minutes with this Reddish thing and with Noel back, but he's just got to stay ready. When he gets the opportunity, he's got to come in, be a beast in transition, help on defense, rebound the ball, and it's going to be a slow process. But I don't think they're not investing in him, but they need RJ positionally. There's no one else who plays RJ's position that is as good as RJ. And unfortunately for Toppin, Randall deserves this moment that he has.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
So let's talk about the Mavs. Before we do, hey, Drew Austin, happy belated birthday,
happy
bro.
Belated, buddy. Yes.
You got to have a little birthday Knicks game action last night for a blowout.
Yep.
Tell us how the game was, man, from your point of view, being there live.
Listen, the Garden was packed. It's great to see. I love the energy of the Garden, man. It just feels good. The Garden was packed. The Garden was loud. It was a great energy the whole game. And I thought the team played a complete game. It was again, a very well executed, complete game. I'm trying to think. So RJ was again, RJ's just been playing so well. The crowd was chanting his name and he was still delivering. It was really good to see how he was playing out there. I just enjoyed watching him. He's just playing smooth ball. It was just very impressive to see what his game looks like right now. It looks like it's developing in a really nice way. 7 rebounds, 13 of 22 from the field. Just played an overall solid game. Mitch Robinson, 19 points, 9 of 10 from the field, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. First of all, the whole starting lineup hit double figures, which was really cool to see. Plus minuses, pluses were the plus minus 20 plus for the whole starting lineup. So, again, I thought that was the starters won that game. Bench was pretty silent. Grimes played great off the bench, I thought. 3 of 6 from the field, dropped 3 threes, had 9 points. Kid is coming in.
Good
playing
defense on Luka.
Totally. Playing good 3-and-D ball. So love to see it. And, it was a very short, it was a short rotation as usual. Obi played 10 minutes, Grimes played 28, but the whole starting lineup was at 30 to 40 minutes. RJ played 40, Julius 37. Mitch again played 25, which is the right number. He doesn't need to be playing 35 minutes a game. Burks played 35. Fournier played 33. They're playing a lot of minutes, but overall, I thought the starters played really well. And I thought they played a very complete, solid game, just really beat up on them. The one thing I was super disappointed in is I thought Ntilikina was going to get more minutes. And I'm a homer. I love my old Knicks. I was a big Frank guy. I thought it was kind of insulting.
He was out. No,
he played 1 minute. He played the last minute of the game.
Did he? Oh, I thought he was out for health and safety.
No, he wasn't, which is what I thought to myself. I'm like, if I was a coach of that team, and I know this kid played for 4 years, and it was only team he ever played in, got traded away, got let go, and wants his revenge game, and you give him 1 minute, you're gonna lose that player forever after an experience like that. I thought it was really insulting to let Frank go and not let him take a shot at his old team, especially they were down by 20 the whole game. Yeah. And then Theo Pinson only got 1 minute. I thought we were going to have a Theo chant. I thought the whole Garden was going to lose it for Theo. He came in with 30 seconds left. We hardly noticed him. And he came in.
Did you see his tweet this week where he said he was looking for his montage video?
Yeah, he said he was excited to see my tribute video when I entered the game.
Well, Knights of Degens' own Jack Settleman had the tweet of the night where he said something like, I don't know what the Mavericks are trying to build, but they literally have all old Knicks on the bench.
Yeah, dude,
Reggie Bullock, Theo Pinson, Frank Ntilikina, Porzingis, like Tim Hardaway Jr. It's like, yeah, you know what? Is that really the best strategy to build around Luka with former Knicks? Is that really what you?
Exactly.
Is that really what you want to do, guys? I don't know. Think that one over.
What's their record?
Yeah, it was a great game last night. Obviously, the Mavs were kind of undermanned. The Mavs have won 6 in a row. We're starting to win at home. Mitch was great, and that 25 minutes is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
I do think that there is even more room for. I talk all the time about how the Knicks don't really run offense, and it's frustrating. They do like 5 out with Randall driving into traffic. Now, we've gotten better. We screamed about the backdoor lob to Obi Toppin, right? We've gotten better. Quickly kind of throws the best lobs, and Rose too. Rose has been out, but the whole point, I'm going to get a little nerd XNO, right? The lob, which Trae Young and Capella run so well, right? Obviously, you can make a regular, but Knicks actually hit Robinson on passing when the big came in full help mode, right? Fournier hit him once, Randall hit him a couple times. It was great. The lob is for when that big is showing, but he's trying to kind of play 2 guys. He's trying to play Robinson and the ball handler, right? So the way to really beat that is a lob over the top. That's the only really time you could do it. And I don't know why we can't do that with Mitchell Robinson more. There was a few attempts at it. The passing was bad. And also Mitch, as much of he's a quick jumper and a great athlete, every time he kind of gets up and goes for it, he twists in the air. He never quite completes it. I really would like to see, because a lot of teams do run that off the pick and roll. I just think it's there. I think it could be a valuable part of the offense, and I'm hoping that someone like RJ, who does break the defense down a lot, will be able to do that more. Rose will do it, but it's there. It's there. We screamed for it with Toppin. They're finding that now. It's there with Robinson. I really want to see them take advantage of it, and they just don't. It's not a part of the playbook.
Do you think, what is the over under? Do you think we see a jump shot this year from Mitch?
Nah, no. Only I think if he had a different coach, he would. No, I think he knows he might get pulled.
I'm actually saying one jump shot, literally one.
Maybe if the shot, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say shot clock running down. He somehow ends up with the ball at the 3-point line, and he has to shoot it, and it'll probably go in.
I know. I kind of want to see it. I've seen it during the training and practice. Doesn't look ridiculous. His free throws are not bad. I'm kind of hoping to see him pop one.
I think we'll get one. It'll probably go in, and all the headlines are going to say, shoot more, Mitch.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go back and we'll clip this right here. So when it does happen, Drew, you called it. So before we move on to look at what we got coming up, Phil's in the chat. With Cam on the bench, could we see some subs in for RJ since he also plays shooting guard and Toppin still come in for Randall? Thoughts, Drew?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're versatile players. I think these wing guys can play the, kind of the 2, 3, 4, if they need to. I think Cam's big enough where if he needs to come in, play some 3, play some 2, play some 4, he can do it. He can. So I think I think they're going to spread minutes out. Listen, how old is Fournier? 28, 29, 30?
I think he's closer to 30. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. He is
not a spring chicken.
No, of course. He's 29. He's 29.
So listen,
30 in October.
Yeah. So Fournier doesn't need to be playing 35 minutes a game either. So spreading those minutes around, I think is not the worst idea. And also, again, we do have these young guys that are going to be here for the next 3 to 4 years that we have to invest in. Quickly needs minutes. Quickly needs to be developed. Cam is young too. He's going to need to be developed. RJ needs the young guys, whether or not they're necessarily the best to be playing exactly those minutes every game, you have to invest in your talent, in your young talent, and you have to let them go out and fail out there. You have to let them go learn from being in the experience. And that's part of the reason why I love seeing when Miles McBride gets out there. By the way, speaking of Miles McBride, I don't know if you guys saw this, but he played in the Westchester. 39.
My buddy, Coach Kyle Rudy, was out there in Westchester, and he was texting me from the game. It's so clear McBride's an NBA player playing with guys who are probably not.
Yeah, he is.
And even Sims looked pretty good. I think Sims had 19 points or something like that. So,
but McBride, I was watching some highlights. He looked absolutely dominant on the court. Fully dominant. And then again, another one where I was sad, when the guards were all out and he had his shot, I don't think he really stood out as much as I was hoping for him to do. But like that kid is a good ball player, man. You don't drop 39 in the summer league with like 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and 5 steals or some shit like that. He was playing lockdown D. So like he's a real tough player. And again, we got to develop these guys. I'm really happy they're getting minutes in Westchester and they're not just sitting there like wasting their season sitting on the bench. I'm a big believer in the G League. I think it's a smart thing for the league, and I think it's good for the teams. But you know, we just got to make sure that we keep in mind that we are not necessarily a championship team this year unless we make a trade. And yes, we're fighting for the playoffs, and we're going to continue to fight. And we want these young kids to be in a fight for the playoffs. So like, let's be clear, even if these kids are playing, they should be in the position where they're battling for a playoff spot and they're not just playing in junk ball. So, you know, we got to give these guys minutes. We got to give
Well, the good thing is we're back to 500. We don't play again until Saturday. We had a good trade today. We're all happy.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and see what we got coming up next. All right. So we took Cam away from him. How we feeling about Atlanta coming up? That's the next one.
If I'm being honest, not good. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I do know Reddish is nursing like an ankle, so I don't know if we even have Reddish necessarily for Saturday night. But we'll see. The Hawks kind of owe us one, meaning yes, they knocked us out of the playoffs, but we played a decimated Hawks team on Christmas Day with, no Trae Young, and we kind of beat the crap out of them. So they're going to be ready. I just hope we show, I of course want to win. I'm not very much like, oh, it was a loss, but we got something out of it. I just want to play well. I just want it to be a game. I really do. Right. Of course I want to win. But I just want to, no matter what, put up a fight and let them know that it's different now. But I just feel like the Hawks are going to be ready for that one.
Is Cam going to play?
As I'm saying, he has an ankle issue, so I don't know even if like physically he'll be ready. I know he's like nursing a right ankle sprain, so I don't know.
I mean,
if he's going to play.
That's rough. Okay.
Yeah,
unless that was a fake injury because they knew he was going to get traded. And it's your ankle hurts, buddy, and you have a one-way ticket to New York.
Yeah.
For the love of the game. Hopefully Cam can have that revenge game Frank should have had last night. Yes.
But again, like after the Atlanta game, we have four straight at home, all winnable games: Charlotte, Minnesota, New Orleans, and the Clippers. Winnable games, and then Cleveland. I mean, listen, this was the run we knew we have to make. So far, what are we, 7-3 in the last 10, I believe. So, 3, I'm just looking at it right now, 5, 7. Yeah, 7 in the last 10, and 8 of 12. So like the team is coming around right now.
Like last year. That's exactly what's kind of happened.
It feels very, very similar.
I feel like most people think we should win that Charlotte game. I mean, I get to catch a couple of the Charlotte games because I'm here.
Charlotte's good.
I don't know fun. They are fun.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No,
and they're tough.
You should not overlook them.
No, definitely not. When I said they're winnable games, they're winnable games. They're not. These are not like the top teams in the league. But like, Charlotte's dangerous. We know, like, listen, the Knicks could lose to anybody on any given night. Very, very. We're very. If there's one thing I can say confidently, it's that we are more than capable of losing to anyone in this league. So we've been delivering on that for a very long time. So I'm definitely not overlooking, but. I think we got some good winnable games coming up.
Yeah, for sure. The one after that was,
I think it's Minnesota. You really want to take care of business against Minnesota and New Orleans. I mean, Minnesota can be tough. Towns is playing well, but you really want to take care of business against Minnesota and against New Orleans. Obviously, the Hawks. I'm not saying we can't win, but that's going to be tough. And then the Clipper thing, we're at home, so that makes it a little bit of a toss-up because the Clippers have had their own health issues. So winnable, but we'll really learn a lot in these next 4 games because if we could go 3-1, let's just say, I mean, That's great. 2-2. Okay, we're still building it. You just don't want to go anything worse than that and regret.
Yeah.
It's too late to start regressing back. We don't really have that time anymore.
Now we're at 500. We got to build on top of this.
Yes.
100%. Yeah. I mean, if we walk away with a 2-2, I'm happy. Right. We walk away with 3, I'm ecstatic. No question.
Yep.
So, guys, I know we decided that we're going to start adding our top shot moments on here.
Mhm.
Before we do, I want to take a little breather, have you guys have a little quick game to play, and then we'll jump into that. All right, guys, I'm bringing back Rank 'em Up on Bing Bong Knicks Nights. Let's see. We'll start with Drew. All right.
Yep.
Rank 'em up coaches.
I like that. I like that.
You got Tibbs,
Yep.
Van Gundy, Riley, Mike Woodson, and Patino. What are you going with?
I'm going with Riley, Van Gundy, Tibbs, Woodson, Patino.
Well played.
Wow.
Okay.
I have a little different opinion. So my 1 is Van Gundy.
Wow.
A finals appearance. He was an assistant for a lot of years.
Mhm.
Held on to Alonzo Mourning's leg. Love Van Gundy.
No,
2, Riley. And the only reason why Riley's not 1 is because he kind of snaked the Knicks after that finals year. He left with a fax.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the greatest.
I didn't say
strategy.
I didn't say I like him. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I put Woodson ahead of Tibbs just because Woodson's had a longer run, and they did get out of the first round of the playoffs under Woodson. They beat the Celtics and then lost to the Pacers. They were a 2 or 3 seed. So but I think Tibbs over time will overpass him. I give Woody the call there at 3, then I go Tibbs 4. And honestly, I don't even remember the Patino era, and I was young, and I don't think anyone really Patino's definitely 5.
Yeah, he was a bad Knicks coach.
All right. I got one more for you guys. You ready?
Mhm.
Jerry, I'll start with you. Top 5 New York Knicks celebrities. We've got Drew Barrymore, Spike Lee, Howard Stern, Chris Rock, and Jerry freaking Ferrara. Rank them, Jerry.
Listen, all right. Spike is number 1, obviously. I'm gonna go Chris Rock number 2. I'll put myself 3.
There you go.
I go Barrymore 4, and I go Howard Stern 5. Only because I don't hear how I would love to hear Howard Stern's analysis on basketball. We don't really hear it. I know he goes to a lot of games.
Right.
One of the most famous guys in the world. But let's hear about the team. What are your thoughts?
Drew, I'm gonna give it to you, man. What are we ranking celebrities?
I like it. I mean, listen, Spike is the number 1 Knicks fan of all time, so you can't beat that. And Rock goes to a lot of games, but I don't know, Jerry, you're a pretty strong fan.
I can't put myself too. It's just I don't want to ever come off
Well,
like
we
that.
can.
You could put me up there theoretically.
I think I'm throwing Jerry up number 2, and then I'm going with Rock, and then I'm going Howard Stern, and then because you've seen Stern to a lot of games. Now Barrymore goes to a lot of games, but I really don't know what her Knick fandom is about. I don't really know how much her conviction is, so I'm going the other.
Tracy Morgan, honestly, I think
Tracy
should
Morgan
maybe
should
be
be
in
in that top
there for
Yeah.
Howard Stern.
Yeah,
and
let's
even Barrymore.
talk
Tracy
about
Morgan's a good Knicks fan.
Wait, so
Fat Joe.
who we missing here? Yeah, Fat Joe should be in the list. Yeah, Tracy
Seinfeld
Morgan.
used to go a lot. I don't know if Seinfeld goes.
You know who should be on the list and talks about him all the time? Ben Stiller.
Stiller.
all the
Oh
time.
yeah, Stiller's
Yep.
a great. Yeah. So let's. Yes. I think maybe
Alright.
Barrymore and Stern. It's a trade.
I would try
Barrymore and Stern for Stiller and Morgan. Done. Knicks
that's
win
it.
the trade again.
That's it.
Keith
Awesome.
Davidson,
Well,
John
guys,
Stewart. Yeah, that's a good
Yep.
call, Clay.
I'm excited that we're going to keep sticking to the fact that we want to jump into those top shot moments.
Do it.
After last week, we went ahead and made it that Edge is here with us, Dr. Edge himself, to cover this stuff. So let's jump into a little bit.
He needs
of
entrance music, Porto. I think
Oh, yeah.
Edge might deserve his own entrance music.
Fire moments with
Let's
Dr. Edge.
What's up, fellas?
There we go.
No
Hey.
mute this week.
What's good, buddy? What's going on?
Well, not much. Just hanging out at the cafe. We unfortunately had to do curbside only today. We had a couple of our normal workers a little bit ill. We didn't want to take any chances, so we kind of short-staffed it today and just have some curbside going. So it's been a good day. How are you guys?
We're ready to go, baby. We're ready to go. We're excited to talk Top Shot with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing I wanted to jump into today was the Flash Challenge that's going on for the Hustle and Show. So Hustle and Show was a beloved set from Series 2. There's a huge Discord community that has kind of evolved around the set. It's kind of the set of the people. And so everybody was looking forward to this drop for sure. And we weren't disappointed. We got great moments. Prices spiked quite a bit pre-announcement for the challenge. Once the challenge was announced, we had a little bit of a dip. People were there's going to be 2 challenges for this particular set. One is Kristaps. So I know you guys aren't too excited about that one probably, but the second one will be Steph, which everyone is thrilled about. Okay. We're unsure what the moment is yet, but the first one is live. So that includes 5 of the current Hustle and Show moments that you're going to need to complete that set. And then you also are going to need some moments from last season's Hustle and Show set. Okay. So for this set, you're going to need like the Devin Vassell moment for the Spurs, Dylan Brooks, Marcus Smart, Matisse Thybulle, Miles Turner. And then you're going to need 5 moments that are either an assist, a steal, and or a block from the Hustle and Show Series 2. So a pretty attainable set, really, especially for those who already held the Hustle and Show Series 2 set. So it's really been a good positive thing for the community. And I think as of last time, Live Token had updated us on the completions. Let me just make sure there hasn't been a new update. It was over 6,000 last time I looked. But yeah, so we've had, so far as of 11:30 a.m. Central, about 2 hours ago, there were 6,524 completions for the Porzingis moment that ends in 1 day. So
and how many moments per? What are the moment volume on this series? So it's 10,000.
18,000 for the base set.
18. Yes. So this so we're probably thinking about 50% fill. 50% of the normal is what
I think at this point. What I've kind of found when we get this close to the end of a challenge, the number typically doesn't tend to rise too much, especially on these common ones. It's the people who want the moment, for the most part, have probably already completed the challenge. So I mean, we could have 500 more completions. I'm thinking around the 7K mark for this particular one. Now, when Steph's moment, when Steph's challenge becomes live, I think we're going to see a lot more completions on that one, especially given the ease of completion. So,
and what are the value of these moments? Like, what would it cost for someone if someone wanted to go out and fill that challenge now? What do you think approximate cost would be?
So, our buddies over at Own the Moment actually have a great tool for this, and I'm going to just utilize that right now because I'll tell you exactly how much it costs. They have on their website a challenge tab at the top, and you can click on any of the live challenges that are going on at Top Shot at any given moment. So for right now, let's go to the Hustle and Show Series 3 Challenge 1, and it looks like it's setting at about $195 to complete that moment.
Okay. Oh, sorry, my computer.
I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah, with my computer going crazy. I don't know.
Oh, it's all good.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're looking like, on the very low end, if you buy all floors to complete the challenge and get all the low ask moments, you're looking at $195, which for a Kristaps moment at this point, I mean, none of this is financial advice, obviously, but I think you'd probably be better off to wait and pick that one up after the challenge is completed.
I do agree.
Yeah, I think the Steph moment,
unless they're halfway completed or something to that nature.
Right. That's it. All boils down to how many of the moments you already have and how much you're willing to spend and what you really value this Kristaps moment. Now, if you're a completionist and you want to have that challenge reward completion on your log, then by all means jump in and finish it and have it. What I did is I had the Hustle and Show set completed from Series 2, so I was airdropped 3 packs, which all Hustle and Show holders were dropped, and then I also was able to buy 4 during the pack drop. So I got 6 or 7, I can't remember, out of the 10 that were in this drop just from free airdrops and buying the pack. So I went ahead and bought what I needed to complete it. It's all ready to go, and I'm just looking forward to the Steph challenge at this point.
Okay, cool. So, and I know there were a couple. There was what other challenges are going on? Because I know there was one that came up this week that was like there was one hard, one easy, and I don't know if I got enough time to look into them. What was the deal with those?
Yeah. So Top Shot's been doing tiered challenges as well. So 2 tiers. There were 3 tiers on Christmas Day. The 2 tiered challenges have been being base packs or archive packs for the easy route, which sometimes there's been bottlenecks, sometimes there hasn't been. And then the hard challenges typically include rares from players on a given night that were the top in scoring or assists or whatever the case may be. Now, last night's very interesting. The Flash Challenge, the easy route, actually is the Spida reward. Okay, so Donovan Mitchell Silver Moment, FE, the new set that includes Steph's record-breaking 3. They just had Alonzo added to that set, which is at the current bottleneck for the set. And with Franz Wagner getting in last night, that really put a bottleneck on this moment. So we're actually pretty excited about that in the Top Shot community, others, and especially in the Wolfpack. We're very excited that the mint count is going to be low because, you know, if you get players in these challenges that have a lot of moments or high mint counts, you're going to get a high mint count reward. We'd like to keep those mint counts lower just for scarcity's sake. So basically there's 1 hour left for the easy Pass the Rock challenge, which was all featuring the first player in each game to get to 5 assists. Okay.
So I just took a look at the hard one. I'm missing 3. I'm missing Wagner, Hayward, and Jayshawn Tate.
Tate, yeah.
So what is the 3? So like, what would be the cost to complete this, you think? For me to
this is one that is very difficult to gauge. So we're sitting right now at about 1,600 completions, and according to Own the Moment, the low ask for easy is $532. The bulk of that cost obviously being the Wagner rookie. He only has 2 moments on the platform, one of them being his 4-badge rookie with a circulation of 4,000, but not all of those moments are in circulation, as they are Series 3 moments. So I believe, if I recall correctly,
I just looked. Wagner's I need a rare Wagner, so it's $605 for the Wagner rare.
Yeah, and the Tate is going to be extremely expensive as well. So, but here's the thing: you're just getting a rare pack out of this, and people really go overboard with these flash challenges. Very typical of the Top Shot community from what we've seen in the past. People speculate, people try to get ahead of the game, and I just really can't explain why someone would spend this much money just to get a rare pack, but to each his own. So when you're looking at the hard challenge, the low ask right now to complete that is $2,803, which that's if you have none of the moments and you have to go buy all of them. That wouldn't make any sense at all financially. So absolutely do not do that even if you've got the means to do it. If you already have 5 or 6 of the moments and you like the players that you're missing, that's probably a decent investment.
So
maybe 1 or 2.
So for me, I'm looking at it right now. It would be $660 for the Jayshawn Tate. It would be $600 for what was the first one, Wagner, and then like $200 for Gordon Hayward. So I'm getting a rare pack. What is the rare pack you get, by the way?
It is one of the Series 2 rare packs. So it could be one of the All-Star Game pack. It could be an MGLE pack. The last one was an All-Star Game pack. I mean, the average value of the packs, I would say, are like probably about $150, depending upon which moments you pull. Obviously, you never know. But
also, I'm actually
if I'm giving you financial advice, I would say do not complete that. But I would complete the Mitchell because you probably only need the Wagner rookie for that one.
Okay, so I got to check that one out. But the other side of it is like, I also have to look at this from a different perspective a little bit from a value standpoint because I'm a pack holder, so I don't open the packs. I'm storing packs. I'm keeping them unopened. I probably have maybe close to 80 to 100 packs now. Going back to Series 1, I have a couple from that, and then I have a bunch in Series 2 and a few in Series 3. So like I'm a pack holder. So like the other part of it is like I have to then value. I think that opening packs is a content experience. So I think like there's value in just holding packs because people are going to want the content of being able to open packs and talk through pack openings, etc. So I think there's an element of that. And I think there's always going to be a premium for, we're a bunch of Degens. Everyone wants to pay to gamble and get a number 1 moment or a top moment.
Of course.
So a lot of my thought is I don't really, so I'm not valuing the packs in a way of like, okay, what are the moments inside of them? What's my potential? I have to look at it as like when the platform allows for pack selling, which, they've talked about doing in the future. And I'm going to hold until they do. Like or I'm going to use it for content. It's going to be one of those two things. It'll either be like content and, and like monetized as an asset, or it's going to be, like sold packs, like unopened. What is the value of that unopened pack? Like I remember, and this was early on, but like I remember when in the early days of Top Shot, the January, February time, to buy an unopened pack was a huge premium. People were paying 10x the pack cost. So I'm wondering, what are your thoughts there?
Oh, you broke up on us there, but I got you.
What are your thoughts there?
I'm a pack ripper. I can't stand to let them sit. But I totally understand those who hold, and I know a lot of people who do the same. I think that in time the unopened packs will have pretty solid value. It depends on how long you're looking to invest and really hold on to these things, and when Top Shot is going to enable pack selling is a whole nother issue. No real word on that yet.
Mm-hmm.
As far as this challenge goes, I don't think it's worth it in your situation. I mean, it's totally up to you. But the Mitchell one might be. But
I hear you. Jerry, you a pack opener, pack store, or pack opener?
I think I'm a opener.
Yeah.
Even with like traditional card, I've always been. I still do like some card breaks with friends. I have this ongoing basketball. I'm trying to actually segue it into Top Shot bets. Like me and my buddy play 21 like once or twice a week, and we usually play for like he likes to break packs. So I'm trying to get him to do like top like moments and do a little more.
Bring him on the show and do a Top Shot break live.
I mean, this dude's very professional when he does real card. He has like gloves on, and he's like
big deal.
Like, he's real deal with it. So he would be perfect. But I'm from the school of I won't be able to. Maybe I would hold one. It's kind of what I did with Zed. Like I kind of did a little storage with Zed. I agree with what you're saying, Drew. I do think at some point when that's allowed, people will be like, "Wow, there's only this many packs left." From that, so you're like, let's get it, and it could be a bigger content play.
Yep. One other challenge I wanted to talk about briefly was the Clay challenge. So that was a huge deal in the NBA. Obviously, Clay coming back this week for the Warriors, and the Warriors look scary with him back, especially if he's going to be anything near what he was. So we had 3 years of no Clay. So many 941 days, I think, total that he missed. And what they did was they announced that when he returned, there would be a flash challenge for a moment from his return game. That one I did. And it was very cool. Very cool. They used the dunk, the big throwdown he had. And it's popped up on the screen. You can see it here. We were all clamoring for this moment. We were hoping they would use it because it is kind of a statement. I'm back. You can see the bench just absolutely go wild after he throws it down. The crowd's going wild. Awesome. He's going wild. It's just a huge pump up moment. Yep. And we were so thrilled that they chose to use this as the reward. Yep. There were around 4,500 completions for this one. And I think the low ask right now is somewhere around 220 to 250 on the marketplace. So I love the ending there with him just snarling, just mean mugging too. It's a great moment. Yeah, I agree. Love that one. And lastly, how's the overall market looking this week? Good. I mean, you see gas prices spiking on OpenSea. Yep. So you kind of see some projects taking a little bit of a dip there. Not the Knights, though. Popping off. Sales bot going burr all day, baby. There we go. And cross that 0.3 floor. Nice to see. That's right. No looking back. But Top Shot's hot. I mean, these flash challenges have really rejuvenated the marketplace. And, there's a lot more active users. I saw a statistic. I think there were about 550 new users added in the last week. Quite a few unique sellers, buyers. I mean, it's just a healthy market at this point, and I don't see any reason for that to discontinue, honestly. Awesome. Edge, good having you, buddy, man. Always great to come in here and drop some Top Shot knowledge with us. Great to be here. I love it, and you guys have a great day.
I was ripping packs the entire time you guys were talking. How you doing? Guys, another great episode of Bing Bong Knicks Nights. Looking forward to our next game on Saturday. Appreciate everybody tuning in every Thursday, 2 o'clock. And if you haven't yet, hit the little subscribe button over here somewhere and the little like button. And make sure you follow everybody on Twitter, all social platforms where we talk whatever we want. Definitely Knicks talk. And of course, Nights of Degen. Everybody have a great week. Later, Jerry.
Later, guys.
Drew.
Later, guys.